Hello everyone, it is great to see you. Today I wanted to share with you a particular state in the United States of America. And where that place could possibly be is right here in Utah. Now, I wanted to talk to you about Utah because me personally, I've never been to Utah, although I would love to be. I've heard so much about the Salt Lake City and all the amazing things there. And so it was really a bummer that I wasn't able to go there last time I went near this place. But I just wanted to share a lot of the historically relevant places here and yeah, just be able to talk to you about the historical relevance of these places. And last time we did look at Martin Luther King, and we did look at lots of different places across the nation. And so, just very honored to be able to share this with you guys. Okay, the first place we're actually going to be visiting is quite a famous place here. It is called the Temple Square in Salt Lake City, right here. And this is a historical landmark, and yeah, let's look at some pictures right here. They have some really good pictures. Quite a stately building, right? And some of the things inside here, I absolutely love this photo in particular. Just the perfect symmetry you can see. And there are various statues, very high up as you can see as well, and beautiful during Christmas time. Let's look at the historical background. So in 1847, there was a man named Brigham Young, and he was a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and so this is called the LDS, and he arrived in the Salt Lake Valley after a long exodus from Illinois. Illinois is right, sorry. Where is Illinois? Wait. Yeah, right here, my bad. Illinois is right here, so it's quite a long place, right? Especially to be exiled and to have to like flee because of religious persecution all the way from Illinois. And it's important to remember that in the 1800s, religious persecution were very, very common. Not as common as in the 1700s, but religious persecution did exist in a lot of the states. And so just after arriving in this very place, in this place in Utah, he chose this spot as a grand temple, and then he said, here we are going to build a temple for our God. And so this became the Salt Lake Temple that began in 1853 to become built, and it took 40 years to complete, and it was finally dedicated and completed in 1893. And so let's look a bit into this. Oh, yes, right here. Okay, that is not the place. I'm very confused. I think it's because I have huge fingers. They don't quite get where I want to. Oh, okay, guys. Can we go here? Is this the right place even? Oh. Yes, right here. Of course. Lovely. And so we have the flag of the United States as well here. And the builders, when they built this, used granite blocks, and so they hauled it by oxens, and it came from all the way from a place called Little Cottonwood Canyon that was 20 miles long. And so this was a immense dedication that people put in, and can you like think about people building this hand by hand without like the construction things that we have today? Like, can you imagine that they just stacked it on top of each other, created this absolute masterpiece? It is just, the picture is distorted, and so kind of adds a bit of horror into this, but let's see some other pictures here. Oh, maybe that one can give you... Oh yes, absolutely lovely, right? And in terms of historical significance, this is one of the largest and most iconic LDS temple, and it incorporates a lot of the Mormon theology and imagery in here. I'll actually show you the Temple Square image here. So you see here stars. Like I believe these spiky kind of features are representing the star, and so and there are a lot of other symbolism as well. I've heard there is the moon and the sun, and all these point back to Mormon theology. And this was actually the home to the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, and it's this place has become renowned for acoustics in a religious way, and yeah, this really commemorates the early LDS pioneers who migrated to Utah through the rugged terrains of the West. Now, I don't mean to say that a certain religion is good, a certain religion is bad, but I'm just saying that this beautiful religion, with beautiful people, were able to build a beautiful architecture, and although you may believe it is false, although Mormon theology in general, a lot of people do believe to be false, it is regardless of its truth something beautiful, something to be celebrated for its beauty, something that I think reveals a lot of the human mind, because we're ultimately faulty. We really don't know the answer to anything, and I wanted to talk to you about religion kind of freely, because really I don't think anyone knows the complete answer to anything, because we're just human. We're not gods. We didn't create the world. We didn't create the universe, and so we're lacking. Religion is a way that we can try to find ourselves. A lot of people do succeed in it. Not everyone does. I'm very cautious in trying to phrase this, but it's an open discussion always. I think always an open discussion. I've met several religious people, several religious teachers as well, who said the same thing. A religion is an open discussion, because we're not subhuman. We're not gods. We're not perfect, and so. Anyways, it's just, I think Mormon ideologies, Mormon religion is something very interesting to look at, not only from a religious sense, but in a historical sense as well, because it is so significant. And of course, we have the Great Salt Lake that I cannot help but look at. So let's go as close as possible as we can to look at this. Can you see it here? I don't know if we can. Let's go to like the very edge. Wow, that is the lake right there for you guys, and apparently it's so salty that you can kind of float on it. How cool is that, right? Okay, let's go to the second place. I think I spent too much time on the temple, but we have the Golden Spike National Historical Park, and this is not religious, but it is actually an important part of United States history as well, and so we'll look a bit into this. This is a National Historical Park. We have a little visitor center here, I believe. Oh, no. Yes, okay, let's look at some of these pictures first. Awesome, right? We have trains here. I wonder what they could be about. Well, okay, so in the mid-19th century, the United States, so around 1869, around this time, the United States government needed to connect the east and west coast through a rail. And so the United States Infantry here completed the tracks and was able to build it. I'm trying to process the words here as well. But this was the Pacific Railway Act of 1862 was passed by President Abraham Lincoln, and this funded the railroad companies called Central Pacific Railroad and the Union Pacific Railroad to connect these rails. And this took years of grueling labor. It was very harsh. The working conditions were horrible in a lot of ways, because there weren't the same kind of workers unions that are present today, and a lot of the technological advancement today that allows us to work in relative safety was just not present at the time. And so the two railroads, working from opposite sides of the country, met at Promontory Summit, Utah, right here. So as we see, Promontory right here on May 10th, 1869, in a very beautiful embrace. And I think even current day, a lot of the workers who are in industries like the rail, that are directly involved in constructing railroads and just the transportation facilities, they still face the kind of difficult working conditions that we see reflected from this time. And there is just a continued need of improving working conditions, I think, for all industries, but particularly in sectors like this. And yeah, so it was actually during the time there was a ceremonial golden spike that was driven into the final tie right here. This is the golden spike, and the telegraph that was transmitted to the world was the word "done," and this was the first national news story broadcasted coast to coast almost instantaneously. And much of the work of the Central Pacific, one of the companies, was done by Chinese immigrants, and Union Pacific heavily relied on Civil War veterans and Irish immigrants. And so, these laborers faced a lot of difficulties. Especially Chinese laborers were excluded from the original ceremony, despite the vital role that they played in the actual construction, and this is actually acknowledged in some of the park exhibits as a historical injustice. And so a lot of bittersweet things that we can see right here. And so we see kind of the visitor center inside. Very cool, right? And this is kind of the back. We have some benches here. And this railroad, despite the difficulties there were in creating it, were actually it really helped the United States economy. It allowed the fast moving of peoples and goods. It also allowed industries to grow faster, but also this accelerated this displacement of Native American tribes who were in a lot of cases living all the way across the west, because the east has been colonized, and so people move them really quickly from east to west. And so a lot of bittersweet historical things in here, very difficult to process, I think, in a short span of time, because there is just a lot of historical depth that we just can't dive into at this point. But inside here, I think we saw that photo. There is just a lot I wanted to share with you guys, and there were some pictures here. I don't know where they've gone. It's just an honor to be able to talk to you guys. And here is the very railroad right here, and the place that they met as well. Okay, and this place has become a National Historical Site since 1957. It was actually redesignated in 2019. And we have replicas of the locomotives of Jupiter and number 119 that are demonstrated sometimes seasonally in order to reenact the famous meeting of the two railroads. And so very beautiful. Wanted to share some of the things there are in Utah, because I personally haven't been to Utah. I really have had I really didn't have a lot of historical information about it, and it was just I'm very honored to be able to share this with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day today, and that you continue to learn the various historical significance of these places, that you continue to love learning, and continue to stay curious. Thank you so much for joining me, and have an amazing day. Bye.